Assalamualaikum. Today we want to present about field study presentation. So our supervisor is Madam Nur Hazwani binti Magani and co-supervisor is Fiza Hanif bin Zainon. So I am Nur binti Abdullah and group members Muhammad AMMAR NASHRIQ, NURUL NAJIHA, Nurafifa KHALISAH. We are in course Diploma in Biochemical Engineering Technology in Food. So in part 1, it has project aim and objective of field study. Second, implementation and finding, and last, conclusion. For project aim and objective field study, for project aim to produce the papaya peel flour with high dietary fiber that's suitable to obesity and diabetes disease. For field study objective, first, to identify the process manufacturing of flour. Second, to identify the current issue related to flour. And the third, to conduct a survey public to gain a knowledge about flour-based eating habit. For interviewer and company background, for field study 1, we are interview Encik Abdul Manan, which is owner of Silibin Flour Mill Industry at Ipoh Perak. And for field study 2, we are interview Miss Aisyah binti Shahrawi, which is graduate student of the Bachelor Degree of Health Science, owner at University Science Malaysia. In relevant of panel for field study 1, it industry produce flour and it was related to our project. Second, find out more about types of drying method, and the last, find out the pre-treatment of flour. For field study 2, has extensive work experience in the field of food and nutrition. Second, previously worked as dietitian catering at HR Hospitality. And the last, her expertise allow her to give an accurate opinion on the issue and healthy nutritional content in flour production. Okay, this is the proof when we do interview meeting with Encik Abdul Manan and Miss Aisyah. Okay, I will pass the next slide to another member.
Okay, my name is Muhammad AMMAR NASHRIQ bin Muhammad Sharif. So I will present about the implementation and findings on our field study. So this is our method and tools for field study. For in this field study, we want to achieve 3 objectives, which is to identify the process of manufacturing of flour. Okay, in this objective, our method data collection is use interview session with Encik Abdul Manan as owner of Silibin Flour Mill. And next, our objective is to identify current issue related to flour. The method data collection is still the same, which is interview session with Miss Siti Aisyah Shahrawi as the health advisor at OSMAN. And lastly, our objective is to conduct a survey public to gain knowledge about flour-based eating habits. For this method data collection, we will use online question, spread to public, and conduct via online survey post in social media, which is WhatsApp. Okay, this is our findings for objective 1. Okay, this is the process manufacturing of flour. For the information, this is the manufacturing of red millet flour. Okay, the procedure is first of all is washing. Wash the material, use the clean water to remove the surface dirt and particles. And then for the drying method, the company use a sun drying, 1 or 2 days under sun drying to maintain the quality of the red millet. And next, after drying, they grinding 100 into 200 kilogram at once, at time 3 until 4 hours. After grinding, they cool the grinding flour on tray 24 hours until 88 hours. And last, for the sieving process, the sieving process is not too subtle, only once of sieving process. And lastly, the storage, the company use the plastic bag, the seal plastic bag, which can be stored for 8 to 10 months. Okay, this is the finding 2. The objective is to identify the current issues related to flour. So there was 4 issue about flour, which is 1, acceptance to consumer in terms of flour texture, smell and taste. And then the issue is high in carbohydrate content in wheat flour are not good for people with obesity and diabetes. Next, issues from the aspects of varying price in flour in market. And lastly, most flour produced in market are less in fiber. And then I will pass to our next member.
Assalamualaikum. My name is NAJIHA binti Abu Hassan. Okay, this is a finding 3. The objective 3 is to conduct a survey public to gain knowledge about flour-based eating habits. Okay, for this survey, we take a random question that are related to this field study. Okay, for this question, based on 160 response, about 75.6% of respondents does not belong to the group of obesity, while 24.4% of respondents belong to the obese group. Okay, next. Okay, for this question, based on 160 response, about 60.3% of respondents are consuming food product from flour every day, while 29.4% of respondents consume food product from flour every 2 days. Okay, next. Okay, for this question, about 82.4% of respondents knowing consuming large amount of carbohydrates, foods and erratic meal times can cause irregular blood sugar levels and lead to obesity problems. Okay, next. Okay, for this question, about 86.8% of respondents think of choosing flour products that are low in carbohydrates and high in fiber. This indicates most of consumers aware about the high dietary fiber intake. Next, I will pass to Nurafifa KHALISAH.
My name is Nurafifa binti OSMAN and I will present about suggestion part. This is a suggestion from Encik Abdul Manan and Miss Aisyah Shahrawi. From Encik Abdul Manan, he recommend the sunlight drying process is not recommend for drying fruit peel based product because cannot determine exact temperature and hygiene factor. And second, suggest to use oven and microwave for drying fruit peels to gain the suitable moisture. From Miss Aisyah Shahrawi, she recommend to produce flour that high in fiber content because there are not many flours nowadays that have high fiber content. The second, suggest to mix papaya peel flour with wheat flour to balance the bitter taste of papaya peel flour in development of new food product. In this conclusion, this description can be known how the processing of flour is produced in terms of raw material, process and analysis. The second, many types of drying method can be used such as sun drying, oven drying and microwave drying, and this temperature of drying affect the fiber content in papaya peel. The current issues of flour and necessary nutritional content in flour production was successfully obtained. And the last one, all of the objective was achieved. Okay, this is part 2. We have project title, project overview, identify whether industry or society issues of analysis, problem statement, significance of study, objective, and the last workflow. Okay, this is a project title, Development of Papaya Peel Flour by different maturity of papaya using different drying equipment. Our project overview is the aim of the project is to produce the flour from papaya peel in order to generate the high fiber content of flour. The second, 2 types of papaya will be applied in this project based on stage of ripening, which is ripe and unripe papaya, to identify the papaya peel that have a highest fiber content. And the last, different drying equipment, which are hot air oven and microwave oven, will be used in this project to identify the optimum temperature and wavelength for drying papaya peel. Next, I will pass to ALIAH.
Okay, for part 2 of objective, to produce the papaya peel flour from papaya with different maturity. Second, to identify optimum parameter for drying using 2 different drying method. And the last, to identify the effect of pre-treatment towards fiber content. So for problem statement, first, lack of dietary fiber intake among Malaysian. For this problem statement, mostly adult in Malaysia was not consume high fiber in their daily diet. So that's more than 50% of Malaysian adult consume less of fiber. For second problem statement, down waste from papaya peels that cause pollution to the environment. Papaya peels is used in food industry, which is for production jams, jellies and other. So industry generate high amount of papaya peels as by product. It is considered waste and discarded, and then it can cause pollution to environment. And the last, the high carbohydrate content in most wheat flour has a detrimental effect on people with diabetes and obesity. So emerging evidence suggests that long-term consumption of high carbohydrate diet has been linked to increased risk of hyperglycemia. Okay.
Okay, next is significance of study. Okay, the first is society. Help the community to increase the rate of fiber intake in daily diet. Next is help reduce the rate of carbohydrates intake for obese and diabetic patients. Is for the problems of excess papaya peel can be overcome by applying production of new products such as papaya. Okay, next is considered as low-cost renewable resource and can serve as functional ingredients to enhance the nutrient in food. Okay, next I will pass to AMMAR.
Okay, lastly, this is our workflow of our project. Okay, first of all is the preparation of raw material. We will use the two types of papaya based on the ripening stage, which is ripe papaya and unripe papaya, to achieve our first objective, which is to produce papaya peel flour from papaya with different maturity. And then for washing and sanitize, we will use two methods, which is sanitize with 200 ppm of sodium hypochlorite and not sanitize. And then after sanitize, we will peel and cutting and go through for drying. So for drying process, we will use two different equipment, which is hot air oven and microwave oven. This method we use to achieve our objective 2, which is to identify the optimum parameters for drying using two different drying methods. And lastly, we will go through the grinding, sieving, and for analysis. And lastly, for analysis, we will analyze about the fiber and the moisture content of the papaya peel flour in the end of the project. And this is our reference that we'll use to complete our study in this project. That's all from our group. Thank you.